Hello, students. I am just giving you a brief overview of the demonstration presentation that will be due at the end of the term. So I want to make sure we go over the requirements, and I also wanted to test out this PowerPoint ability to be able to record yourself and your PowerPoint. And I really think this is probably for the demonstration speech the best way to go. You can do so much with PowerPoint. You can put video inside the PowerPoint, and then you could kind of talk through that. So you could embed video into a PowerPoint. You can put photographs step by step through a PowerPoint, which allows your audience to really see what's happening. The use of visual aids is so imperative, and I'm also posting some how to use visual aids, voiceovers, and PowerPoints for you to review this week, because it is very important for you to know and understand how useful visual aids are and how they can be very distracting. So I want to make sure we're very clear as to how to use them and how beneficial they are, especially when we are demonstrating. So I want to go over briefly the requirements of your speech. So you are going to need to demonstrate something, how to do something. You can demonstrate how to make macaroni and cheese, which is something that is a little elementary, but that's totally fine. Since we are virtually doing this, other topics are also available. I once in a live class, I had a students demonstrate how to solder a pipe with plumbing. Well, I thought that would be such a great speech, but what do you know? You have to bring a blowtorch into class. And once I saw the blowtorch go on, I thought, this is probably not a good idea. I started looking at the sprinkler system. And so another student once asked me if they could demonstrate how to clean their shotgun for their demonstration speech. Now in class, that would probably be a no-no. But if you're demonstrating and using photographs in your own home, and you know how to use firearms, and you are a hunter and you want to teach everyone how to clean your shotgun, then that's totally reasonable. So things are different when you're doing things virtually versus when you are live in a setting. So make sure you choose a topic that is appropriate for our graduate level, but also it's something interesting and teachable that can be taught in 7 to 12 minutes. Now, this speech is a 7 to 12-minute speech because I'm giving you a little bit longer. Sometimes it's hard to demonstrate in less than 12 minutes. So I'm giving you a little bit more time so that you can speak and provide more clear pictures. You want a demonstration speech to be complete, but you don't want it to be overly complicated. If you're showing us how to change or install more memory onto your video game system, don't tell us how to rebuild the video game system. Just show us how to install more memory. So make sure you are directly to the point. So you don't want to talk for 45 minutes because nobody wants to listen for 45 minutes anymore. 7 to 12 minutes is a good range. I could give you up to 15, but I think 15 allows you to be a little too long-winded. I want you to be succinct. So then you must have two outside sources. Why do you need outside sources? Just because you want to make sure that other people are supporting your method of doing this. Oftentimes, even when we watch YouTube videos, I think, who else does it this way? Is this really the right way to do it, or is this some kids' way to do it, and they just came up with this, and now I'm testing this method? So make sure you provide some support as to this is the way to do it, or this is what's recommended. This is how to solder your bathroom pipes, and this is what's recommended by the National Plumbers Association. Whatever it ends up being, make sure you have some sources that say that the way you're doing it is an appropriate way of doing it. It doesn't have to be the only way to do it, but it has to be an appropriate, reasonable way to do it. You have to use the formula for this one. A lot of times with demonstration speeches, people get out of order. Their head is so full of so much information. When you're demonstrating something, it usually means that you know it pretty well. So you skip steps, and you tend to forget that your audience might not know as much as you know about it. So please make sure you use the formula. Have your introduction do the three things, provide a roadmap, introduce yourself, equate the audience with your topic, let them know why they need to know your topic. Make your introduction brief, then get right into the steps of your presentation, and the steps will be in chronological order. Most demonstration speeches follow chronological order. And then your conclusion, review what you've done. Make sure people know they can go back if they've missed steps and can go find those. You have to do some sort of audience analysis. Now, for this speech, in a classroom, I would have you analyze the class. But because we don't have that, I need you to at least come up with some component of audience analysis. This can be fictionalized. So I am speaking to, the defensive line of the Green Bay Packers, and I am demonstrating this new way to run some defensive play. Obviously, we know I know nothing about about defense in football, but if you want to show those, that make sure I know that you're talking to the defensive line of the Green Bay Packers, so you're not speaking to 7-year-olds trying to tell them how to play defense in flag football. There's a difference there. The defensive line of the Green Bay Packers is going to have a lot of understanding of how to run different defensive plays. 8-year-olds playing flag football may have no idea what they're doing, and they're just running and scrambling for the ball. So please at least give me a paragraph. So you have to write a paragraph as part of your outline. So at the beginning of your outline, telling me who your audience is. Who are you presenting this to? A lot of times now with the graduate level, I try and have you guys think of who you'll be presenting to in your career. Who are you going to have to demonstrate to when you are the leader of an organization, or where you are managing people, or where you have to implement some new way of doing things? Who will you be speaking to, and what's their knowledge base about the topic, and what is their vocabulary? What kind of jargon do you need to use? Do you need to define different acronyms so they understand what they are, or can you use acronyms or technical jargon interchangeably because they get it? So make sure you know your audience and give me a paragraph on who that audience is, so that when I watch the speech and listen to it, I know who you are talking to. You must use a visual aid. Now, you could do it live. You could just set up your camera and record yourself and do a visual aid live. This is how I make macaroni and cheese. I think that is actually overcomplicated and makes this harder to do. I think the best bet is to use PowerPoint and to do this video where you are also speaking so I can see your face, and you use PowerPoint. With PowerPoint, you can upload pictures. So this speech is going to take longer for you to create the presentation because you may have to take pictures along the way. These are the tools that you need. Lay them out, take a picture, post it on, upload it up to your PowerPoint, and then talk about it. These are, step one is whatever it is, preheat the oven. So you may take a picture of preheating of it. People use visuals. They follow visuals very well. We talked about this in one of the PowerPoints. Even when you get instructions on how to put together that swing set, there are pictures there. There are visuals. We don't just read them. So people will be able to follow you better if you use photographs and you talk. So you're talking to them, they're listening, and they're viewing the photograph. They'll get it much easier than just listening or just viewing the photographs. So now, or reading. So now they have, two modalities of learning, of understanding what the directions are. So you have to use a visual aid. With PowerPoint, you can even embed videos into PowerPoint if there is something. I've had students that were teaching people how to swing a bat, and they use kind of a slow motion video of where the bat was going to be, or how to throw a curveball. They've used videos of that sort of thing. So you have, your selection is whatever you want it to be, whatever you want to demonstrate, whatever you're an expert in. But then really break it down so that we can understand it. Please make sure you define your audience so we know who you're talking to, and then, craft your presentation. You must hand in a formal outline, again, a complete sentence outline for this, not bullet points. Use formal outline structure, which is a complete embodiment of your presentation, but it is not a manuscript. And make sure you know the difference, because I'm sure that will be a test question. Tell me the difference between a manuscript and a complete sentence outline. All right, so that really covers this whole assignment. I think this is my one shot for recording, and I'm going to try and upload this, and then I will get the rest of the PowerPoints up for you this week. Have a wonderful week, and I will see you soon.